At 04:14 local time on June 24, 2025, a Russian Cerna-class landing craft with 30 troops was heading for the western shore of Kherson, completely unaware it had been tracked for the past 27 minutes by a Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 drone flying silently at 18,000 feet. In just 90 seconds, what began as a seemingly routine combat operation would become one of the most critical turning points of the war. The Bayraktar TB2 had launched at 02:00 from a concealed site near Mykolaiv, slipping unnoticed into the night skies over the Black Sea. Russian radar crews were fighting fatigue. Their screens remained blank, while the TB2 crept across their radar gaps with surgical precision. This wasn't a cobbled-together commercial drone. It was Turkey's answer to the American Predator, a sleek, persistent hunter-killer platform powered by a Rotax 912 engine, cruising at 70 knots. The drone's route to its patrol station was carefully plotted to avoid Russia's powerful S-300 missile sites, staying at least 50 km clear. Ukrainian drone operators had learned the hard way that overconfidence around Russian air defenses often resulted in a $5 million drone being turned into scrap metal. By 03:30, the TB2 reached its patrol box, 40 km long and 20 km wide, covering the main maritime approaches to Kherson. Its eyes were the Westcam MX-15D, a Canadian-made multispectral imaging suite capable of reading license plates from 20 km away. In infrared mode, the sensor painted the cold sea in black and gray, with any heat source glowing like a torch in a tunnel. The operator, stationed in a ground control center that looked more like a gaming rig than a war room, cycled between visual and thermal feeds, prepared for hours of uneventful observation. Drone warfare was 99% boredom, 1% adrenaline. But tonight, that 1% was fast approaching. At 03:47, the operator spotted a hot spot on thermal. It moved west at 30 knots, leaving a glowing wake behind it. Zooming in revealed the distinct silhouette of a Project 11770 Cerna-class landing craft. Fast, shallow-draft boats often used by Russia to land troops or armor directly on the beach. But this one wasn't alone. Two more vessels followed 5 km behind, indicating this was no supply run. It was a coordinated movement, likely the first stage of something bigger. The lead Cerna made good speed, skimming across the water thanks to its water jet propulsion. Thermal imaging revealed at least 24 human heat signatures aboard infantry, not sailors, based on their movement and equipment. At 04:10, the picture came into sharp focus. The convoy was heading straight for a beach 8 km west of Kherson, where Ukrainian scouts had reported unusual activity the week prior. The operator picked up a secure line. Whatever the Russians were planning, they were about to have company. At 04:15, after nearly half an hour of patient surveillance, the word came in from the 383rd UAV Brigade's Operations Center, cleared to engage. It wasn't a call made lightly. Each Turkish-made Mamel missile cost $70,000, and the TB2 only carried 4. Worse, striking here would expose Ukraine's surveillance reach, potentially jeopardizing future missions. But the opportunity to disrupt a major landing outweighed the cost. The TB2 was ordered to attack. The operator focused on the lead Cerna. Taking out the spearhead would sow the most chaos. The drone broke from its loiter pattern, banking left to arc in behind the convoy, ideal positioning for a strike. The Mamel worked best when aligned with the target's movement. Through his screen, the operator watched the enemy vessel grow larger. The zoom revealed Russian troops on deck, most clustered near the stern. A rookie mistake. Bunching up just made them easier to kill. Tactical vests, helmets, and AK-pattern rifles confirmed they were not logistics personnel. The Mamel, short for smart micro-munition in Turkish, was a marvel of compact lethality. Weighing just 22 kg, it carried a 10 kg warhead designed to pierce light armor or reduce superstructures to shrapnel. It used semi-active laser homing, meaning the TB2 had to keep its laser locked on the target from launch to impact. That required a rock-steady eye, especially with a moving boat. At 8 km, the TB2 was finally within the mammal's optimal engagement envelope. But just as the operator prepared to fire, his screen flashed red. Laser malfunction, recalibrate. His heart jumped. The Cerna was now 7 km from shore and decelerating for its beach approach. Every second counted. He quickly power-cycled the laser, standard reboot protocol even in war. 10 agonizing seconds later, the designator came back online. He reacquired the target, but something didn't add up. The deck was too crowded for a 30-man team. Extra crates lashed to the sides hinted at cargo not usually carried by landing parties. Whatever they were bringing, they weren't supposed to be seen. At 04:47, the missile dropped. The mammal's fins snapped open, and its seeker locked onto the laser reflecting off the Cerna's bridge. Inside, a basic guidance computer crunched the math. Altitude 18,000 ft, range 7.8 km, time to impact, 43 seconds. What the operator didn't yet know was this. The landing craft wasn't just part of a raid. It was the opening move of a much larger Russian amphibious operation. And the detonation he'd just unleashed would expose secrets the Kremlin desperately wanted buried. At 28 seconds to impact, the Cerna held course at 15 knots. The troops aboard, some smoking, others adjusting their gear, were still unaware. Through the thermal lens, the operator could now make out hull numbers, antennas, even the glint of rifle barrels. Suddenly, a sailor on deck pointed skyward. Maybe he saw the TB2, maybe the falling missile. It didn't matter. Physics was no longer on their side. The operator held the laser steady. No shaking hands, no blinking. The TB2's stabilized gimbal kept the beam locked like a sniper scope. The missile streaked downward at 250 meters per second. Deck crew scrambled. Some dove behind crates. Others froze. But it was too late. 15 seconds to impact. And what happened next would blow more than just a landing craft out of the water. It would uncover a mission far more ambitious than anyone in Ukrainian command had imagined. The response from the Russian fleet said everything. Within 90 seconds of the strike, the two trailing vessels executed crash turns, one banking north, the other south, both accelerating toward Crimea at maximum speed. There was no attempt to search for survivors, no retrieval of equipment. It was pure retreat. Operational security trumped rescue. That in itself told Ukrainian analysts all they needed to know. The mission was deeply sensitive and failure meant erasure. Strategic fallout followed swiftly. Intercepted Russian communications revealed a wave of emergency recalls. Satellite imagery confirmed that multiple vessels returned to port at Sevastopol far ahead of schedule. And most significantly, within a week, Russian special operations in the western Black Sea abruptly ceased. 30 elite operators had trained for months. Their mission ended in 43 seconds of fire and steel. Their story, now frozen in high-definition footage, became a turning point in the war.